Hey guys, it's Atheris here, and welcome to the video that I wish I never had to make. As you've already read from the title, MapleStory is dead. Okay, well not exactly. It really all depends on how Nexon handles things moving forward. Today they announced that they will be officially removing Wild Totems from the game, which you all know are one of the last remaining things that increases mob spawn rate, with the exception of frenzy totems, but we'll touch on that later. Also, if it looks like I'm reading from a script, it's because I absolutely am. Anyways, moving on. Now, to some people, this might not be a surprise considering how earlier this year they reworked Kishin to no longer enhance mob spawn rate. Personally, I saw this as an inevitable change considering how they never addressed the community's concerns regarding wild totems after those changes. At least not that I'm aware of. The MapleStory team released this on October 19, 2022, stating that they will be officially discontinuing wild totems with the November update, which can be assumed to be Ignition. This is tentatively scheduled for November 16, so if you are planning on training your Hyperburn characters with a totem, I would stock up on those bad boys now before they disappear forever. Totems that are purchased before this date will still be usable after November 16, but expect every single map to be filled up to the brim. Now, we already knew the first month of Hyperburn was going to be busy, but I expect complete chaos with these changes. I'm talking about Black Friday level crazy. You're gonna be seeing a grandma fighting a 40-year-old soccer mom over a Drake map in the corner of your eye, and then in the other corner of your eye you're gonna be seeing Arcana's beauty being destroyed by Maplers trampling everywhere, going bazonkers, trying to squeeze out the last little bit of EXP that they can get from the totems before they disappear forever. In attempts to soften the blow, Nexon announces that they will also be lowering Star Force enhancement cost by 20%, which they had done earlier this year as well with the Kishin changes. Now, even though I'm Asian, I'm no mathematician, but good thing my Twitter friends are. Gustavo calculates that the total cost reduction from the baseline is 36%, which, like he says, it does help the progression a bit when coupled with Star Forcing events like the Shining Star Force, but this only helps with Star Forcing. MapleStory is going to die if they don't make changes to help players in areas outside of Star Forcing. Now let's go over some of the things that are affected with the removal of totems. Player EXP is going to be reduced, and for a game that is heavily centered around creating links and Legion mules, this is gonna suck. Now, to an extent, this can be mitigated by training on larger maps, which has a higher mob spawn count, but regardless, it's still an EXP reduction. Although, characters that weren't able to fully clear maps to begin with aren't gonna feel too much of a difference. But for classes with crazy mobbing capabilities, Lara as an example, are gonna be hit hard. Also, I'm not sure if you guys have ever trained without a totem before, but it just feels gross. I don't care if you up the EXP earned from mobs, it just sucks waiting for them to respawn. The game feels sluggish, and my ADHD brain just don't like that. I feel like training on a larger map also requires more attention to the game, which some people might not care for, but I know most Maplers are watching something on their second monitor. We like to unga bunga rotate in a small map so that we can ape brain it while focusing on that Netflix show, that YouTube video, or that Twitch stream. Also, training on a larger map means more platforms. Essentially, our mesa rate is going to be further reduced unless we purchase a vac pet, because now we have more platforms to juggle looting on. So this is really just a big old punch to the face to those who don't want to drop 100k in X up front and then spend 15k in X monthly to upkeep their vac pet. And that's just one single vac pet. If you want more than one, double, triple, or even quadruple those costs depending on how fat your wallet is. Also, I want to put it out there that if you are planning on buying more than 4 vac pets, you know, my DMs are open. You know, it's at Atheris TV on Instagram and Twitter. Just saying. Okay. They reduced star forcing costs by 36% this year, so making less mesos shouldn't be too big of an issue, right? Absolutely not. No. We need some sort of way to make up for the cost of cubing, flaming, buying droplets from the store, and whatever else costs mesos. This change does not just affect star forcing, Nexon. This affects everything. Now, I am speaking from a reboot point of view because I haven't touched a regular server since 2015. But for a reboot, this is bad. Everything just got exponentially more expensive. Now, you might say, just create some bossing meals to make up for the loss of mesos from grinding. Well, that might be easy for an endgamer to say because you already have your bossing meals established. But for someone like me, a more casual player, or even a new player who's just getting into MapleStory right now, it's gonna be so much harder just to get our bossing meals to that point. On top of that, less mobs to kill means less drops earned. Node stones are such a huge factor in character progression, and those will be dropping less now, along with familiars, droplets, and whatever else. All of these things play a big role in a character's progression, and essentially Nexon is forcing us to grind more for less. Also, they didn't mention anything about removing frenzy totems. My guess is that nothing is going to happen to them because people paid big money for them. A while ago they addressed that frenzy totems will be rendered useless in 300 plus areas, so that's kind of a sign that they're staying. But that doesn't really matter anyways, at least not for a long while right now, because no one's even level 300 and there's no content planned for level 300 for the foreseeable future. But who really knows? It's gonna suck for people in regular servers because those who hold a frenzy totem are gonna have so much more power than those who don't. I personally hate these changes, hence the video. I usually don't make content like this, but I'm quite upset about the change, so I wanted to speak up. It sucks, because I was just getting back into MapleStory after a hiatus, and honestly, I was falling in love with this game again. I was ready to commit my soul to a 2D mushroom game once more. And then Nexon dropped this L-bomb. So, I mean, I don't know. Should I be thanking Nexon for this? Should I not? As a content creator for MapleStory and as someone who's been playing the game since 2006, I don't want this game to die. I started playing this beautiful 2D side-scroller game when I was 9 years old, and I'm 25 now. Just let that sink in. MapleStory has been in my life for well over half of it. Most of my community was formed because of this game, and it makes me really sad that I might be losing it because of Nexon's poor decisions. Look, don't get me wrong, there were definitely issues with the totem system, and I'm truly all for the removal of totems if they address my concerns. Whether it's from bettering event shops, improving the reward store, adding node stones to general merchants, giving Reboot red cards, or increasing rates somewhere. I just want to substitute for what will be lost. Although I would argue that shoving the solution into a limited time event shop will just create more FOMO and overall be more detrimental to the game. I truly hope Nexon decides to revert their decision or makes changes to the game to help mitigate the negative impacts brought upon by removing the totems. Thank you guys for listening, and hopefully my next video will be a little bit happier. I stream on Twitch a few times a week at twitch.tv/Atheris, or you can find the link down in the description below.